Hello and welcome to Talkin Baseball. The divisional series are coming up and we're going to preview them. That's what's happening. Thank you for tuning in. Foul ball. Oh, hello and welcome to Talkin Baseball. It's episode 724. It is the divisional series preview episode brought to you by SeatGeek. Code JOHNBOY postseason is going to get you 10% off at SeatGeek. You can get tickets to anywhere you want to go in the whole entire world, as long as they're available on SeatGeek. When majority of them are going to be available on SeatGeek, and you can use the code JOHNBOY postseason for 10% off. Whether you've used our code of ours before, bought tickets before, none of that matters. You got tickets. They're giving you 10% off. Actually, we are. We are, not SeatGeek. We forced their hand. It's us. It's us doing it. My name's Jimmy. His name's Jake. Trevor in his rotten jersey, forgotten rotten. And the forgotten gets forgotten sometimes, which is ironic. And Beebs behind the dish. Trev, you ready to talk about your Twins beating the Astros?
Yeah, there's some things I'm worried about, no doubt, but I'm excited to talk about these matchups. As we said on our wrap up of the wild card series last night, I think some of these matchups are some of the better ones that we could draw up in this playoff race here. So good matchups. We have 2 days off of baseball, which kind of feels a little bit strange right now when we're so in the thick of things, but at least it's going to give us time to kind of digest and get ready for the series. You and I and Beavers and Jake were just talking about Joe Ryan's release point, and if Jose Altuve and Bailey Ober are going to have a graphic next to each other, which is 1,000% yes. So those are the types of things we're going to be talking about on this episode. Jake, you look okay today. You look okay.
Boom.
I
Roasted.
do.
I think you look great.
The hair's in a solid spot, all black, kind of slimming, 179 on the scale this morning, trying to get that to 169 for December 3rd. James, Trevor,
What's December 3rd?
Davis, end of the world party, basically.
Nuptials.
I'm getting married. I'm excited. The playoffs begin, Jim.
Yeah. No, yes, they have begun. This is it. Yeah.
Playoffs begin. The matchups are fun.
The limbo offs are over.
The matchups are fun. We've got a David versus Goliath, Dodgers Snakes. We've got running it back, the old Trevor Plouffe re-rack, Phillies Braves. The Birds, my goodness, in Texas, that's got a chance to be the most electric series, I think. And then the series everyone's been waiting for all year, the Minnesota Twins. Trev's Carlos Correa, Jim's Joey Gallo, trying to take down the Houston Astros. And they might just do the whole damn thing again, because if you look at their lineup and their bullpen and their starters, it's the same guys.
Well, let's start with the Rangers and the Orioles, since we're a Cron pod, and they get the first game of the divisional round. The times are out. Texas Rangers will be playing the Baltimore Orioles at 1 o'clock in Baltimore on
103.
Saturday, 103, yes. And then on Sunday, it'll be 4:07. And then Tuesday, back in Minnesota,
Texas.
right? It's 2-2-1.
Texas.
Oh, then Texas gets their first playoff series, 8 p.m. Tuesday night. So it's a weekday, but it's an 8 p.m.er. That's very exciting for them. Wednesday, October 11th, Jake's birthday is TBD. Also, Cardi B's birthday.
October 11th?
Yeah. So congratulations.
Okay.
Party Barty? Party Cardi?
Jake
She's got some nicknames.
I didn't know.
Jake,
because it was kind of me and Eleanor Roosevelt, but now that Cardi's with me.
Yeah, well, Cardi's, her favorite president is FDR, and she is also a big Eleanor enthusiast because they share a birthday.
Yeah.
Do you know
I've heard that?
She loves the presidents. She's very big into history. Anyway, guys, they split the season series 3-3 over the course of the regular season. Rangers just won their games. Baltimore sitting and waiting, wishing and hoping. Seager, Garcia, they went off. Baltimore is really young and fun. I'm very excited to see the Baltimore crowd on that Saturday and Sunday night, or a day game. Even though it is a day game, I still think, like, because of the weekend, it's going to be fucking insane, and I'm so excited for that. So I'm pumped for this. Although I don't know if I'm going to be able to get to watch game one because I got to go. I'm doing stuff with the family.
Nice.
Yeah, it's a good bummer. Bummer. Dunning's getting the ball first for the Rangers.
Dane Dunning flipping it with both paws.
Yeah.
Yeah, hey, nice year for Dunning. Remember that Lance Lynn trade going back a couple years, Jim?
Mm-hmm.
And then, yeah, they'll be lined up Monty and Eovaldi for 2 and 3. We'll see. Max Scherzer had a good bullpen. They're still saying it's doubtful he'll join the roster, and even if he did, it wouldn't be like a full starter role. But yeah, as you look around, there's a little bit like, I know the Texas Rangers are new, but you got Marcus Semien, who's been through a ton of battles, and I would cast him in Game of Thrones, like I've talked about. Corey Seager as a World Series MVP in his bag. Even Monty and Eovaldi, like, it's kind of funny, this Texas Rangers team that feels new, they've got some playoff experience to them, and you know, they just won 2 games in the Trop against the Slop Rays, and then the Orioles. They've been the best team in the American League pole to pole. They're awesome. Their lineup, the defense, the pitching. Somehow they have 7 starting pitchers ready to go for this series when we talked about them having no starting pitching. The only thing that really stinks is they don't have Bautista back there, but Cano, and they'll have options between their relievers and starters kicking back there. The only thing for me that I didn't tilt my head until earlier today. I was like, if we see the baby birds kind of have that wide-eyed, our first time at the party look, and Texas comes in mauling, and they're feeling good, and they've got a lot of guys that have been through it, that's the only way I see this going the other way, because I just love this Orioles team.
I'm going to give the AL East a little bit of credit here, and I don't typically, but I will say this about the Birds. Yeah, clip this for everyone that wants it. I don't believe that they'll be, starstruck or nervous about this, because when you go into Yankee Stadium, when you go into Boston, you kind of already feel that. Now, it's not playoff atmosphere, but those are like big venues, and like they've been there, done that, beat the teams there. I know that they're 4th and 5th in their divisions respectively, but like they've already played in those places a bunch where the atmosphere can be hostile. So I think they'll be more ready than a typical team, like say an AL Central team that maybe visits there once or whatever. There's more friendly venues in those other divisions than there is in the AL East. So I think they'll be ready. I'm not worried about them. Lights come on. Are they going to be, bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, stuff like that? One thing I'm really curious about with this season, and I think it's going to be a storyline for the Rangers, is, what do they do with their pitching? Now, we just talked about Dane Dunning. You got Jordan Montgomery for 2. You got Eovaldi for 3. Then you're going to have to run back either Dunning or Heaney for 4. Or can you go... Can you go Monty for 4 on short rest?
You just win it in 3.
I don't think he could go 4. I think 4 you'd be looking at Dunning or Heendog rolling it.
So then for that, can you run Eovaldi as like piggyback for Monty in that Game 5? Because this is what I'm thinking. Like, as I mentioned last night, you gotta protect that bullpen. It's your weakness. So you got to defend against that somehow. Now, usually you can kick some of these guys back, but because of the wild card round, it makes it difficult. I'm thinking, are we going to see some tomfoolery in that way? Just trying to really make it basically so they don't have to pitch their bullpen. Like, how do you navigate that when you know something's your weakness and you know that you don't have, 18 outs in your bullpen on a given day? Like, you probably have 9 outs in your bullpen on a given day. How are you going to navigate a 5-game series and then a 7-game series after that? So I'm curious to see how that all plays out. Because right now, I think that the Orioles have the advantage in that aspect by far.
Where are you at, Jimbo?
I was trying to look up how the Orioles are against relievers, which for some reason I can't find and is bothering me. Because, obviously the bullpens are going to come into play. Let's see. Clutch stats. Don't really want that. Orioles are good there. Don't they have? Oh, here it is. Versus relief pitchers and starters. The Orioles are, as a team this year, pretty much the same against both. And they're good. They're not like elite against both, but they're good against both. What's their best split here? Versus relief pitcher the second time. So your piggyback theory, I just debunked that. They see a reliever the second time. Done. He's out. I'm excited for the baseball here. The Rangers are going to run into better defense. Maybe. I think Adam Frazier grades out horrible, but the rest of the Orioles are pretty good. Cedric Mullins is really fun to watch. I enjoy watching him play baseball a ton. Adley Rutschman, I think, becomes a star if the Orioles. I know he's already a star. I mean, for first-time viewers. Like, I was talking to a guy the other day whose family's all Orioles fans. He hadn't watched a game yet. And he was excited to watch the postseason. So, like, you know, playoffs make stars. For all the people that just got upset with me. He's a star already. He's awesome, though. And just super excited for farm director Matt Blood.
Okay. Matt Blood?
Matt Blood, yeah, Mr. Blood.
Matt Blood?
Mr.
We were
Blood.
going dark before the episode.
My name's Mr. Blood. I run the farm for Baltimore.
Might have the two best catchers in the AL here, Adley and Jonah Hine. That's a fun little thing we ran into. Evan Carter and Josh Young trying to be like, hey, we're young studs. Stop just looking at Baltimore's kids. And I think the other thing that we haven't talked about too much is Baltimore. How are they going to do their pitching? I mentioned the wealth of starting pitcher. We're all assuming that Kyle's going to be Bradish in that first game and just be like, I don't know, here's 5 innings, 2 earned, blah. But they've got Kramer, they've got Grayrod, they've got Gibby. John Means has come back and twirled that pill. People are assuming Flaherty's going to the bullpen because his Orioles time wasn't where they wanted him. And I mentioned Dean Kramer as well. So yeah, those are going to be interesting buttons. What do you press? What do you believe in? Like my heart jumps to, let's go to Grayrod in game 2 because he's got the stuff, and I want to do that in front of the home crowd, where maybe give me Gibby on the road in game 3, dropping that sweeper on them. But I don't know. Those are going to be some big decisions that, Baltimore and Brandon Hyde will get questioned on immediately if they press the wrong button, which that's a little scary.
Yeah, I think no doubt it's going to go Bradish to Grayrod, and then they'll figure it out after that. If it's, I think they'll assess where they're at in the series and kind of go from there. But like you said, they have a wealth of starters to choose from. It's about, okay, how many pitches are we going to allot to these guys? Is Kyle going to go out there and be just a regular starter and we're going to try to get into 60, 70 pitches before we bring in the bullpen? Or is it going to be, hey, you got one time through the order, you got the next time through the order, let's try to mess with them a little bit. I kind of assume that's what they'll do when you have that many guys available that are stretched out. Like, let's not let that lineup see you twice or 3 times. Like, let's get in there, see what you got, and then make our move from there. So I do not expect them to have just some typical game 3 you're going plan. I'd assume that the Orioles are going to have some more tricks up their sleeves.
We're a little worried about Dane Dunning. His stats against lefties aren't great. I mean, lefties hit pretty well off of him this year. 782 OPS, but 270 batting average, 350 on base, 433 slugging. He's going to face 7 of 9 lefties. I think the first 5 are all lefties. Orioles got pretty good balance.
They can go the first 6 if they want with lefties and switch.
Yeah, and it doesn't even fuck them up for relievers because they got so many switch hitters.
Yeah.
So, and then because of that, when you got Monty the next day, they're all righties. It's nice. Good job, the Orioles. I think.
What do you think?
I think this game's gonna go 5. Sorry, I was speeding us up a little bit to predictions.
Wow, game 5 in Baltimore.
Yeah, I do. I think this is going to be a good series. I think it's going to be back and forth, and I think the energy at both ballparks is going to be awesome. I'm glad the Rangers have, they get the weekdays, but it's going to be night, so that helps out a bunch. And good, nice, bright colors.
Oh.
Yep. And I think we're going to get some offense.
Keys to this for me, Rangers, you got to go bang. Like I think the notes here, they scored 10 runs in a game more than any other team during the year. Like, you need to have offensive outbursts like that to go out and win this series. I think that's the key. That is the best thing that you do, is crush the ball. So go just be yourself, do that. If they don't, and this becomes 1-run game-ish, I don't like their chances. I think they need to pull out in, the early parts of the game, get ahead, and then they're going to have to nurse those leads. That's got to be their keys to success. And then for Baltimore, I think it's, let's go kind of just play our game. Let's not try to get in a slugging match with them, even though they have the ability to do that. I think if Baltimore goes out and plays just good baseball, like solid baseball, I think they win this series. Like, I guess I'm saying it's theirs to lose.
Every rock you turn over on Baltimore, I feel like there's a good stat or a good tidbit. They're great at home. They're good on the road. They're good in run games. Like, it just doesn't feel like there's a lot of holes. And I know it's new. There's a lot of young dudes on this team, and we get nervous when teams do not have the playoff experience, and that's kind of where I opened with. It's funny because I said this last series a little bit. Like, if Texas wins, which they can win, I've got it at 35%, they maul, and they're kind of the AL version of Philly last year, where it's just like, hey, man, we got kids at the bottom that'll mess you up. We got the dudes at the top that'll mess you up. Like, you're in for it. Sorry. Like, this is what we're going to do. I do think, Trev, Baltimore has been the comeback kids all year. Like, they never feel out of a ball game. And in 5 games, or however long this series goes, you're going to see that bullpen. And in Baltimore, they're never going to feel out. If they're down 4 in the 9th inning, like, the Baltimore Orioles think they're in the game. And the Texas Rangers bullpen also might keep them in the game. That I think this series has the biggest chance of electricity, like big innings both ways. Crazy mood swings throughout this. I believe in Baltimore. I think they're going to get it done. I think, the Jimmy kicking a starter to the bullpen theory. Let's say Baltimore does roll up one game and put a 8-1 up there. Like, they could have one of those pitchers, maybe a Jack Flaherty, gives them 4 innings and saves the pen or something like that. Like, I think Baltimore, kind of when you start looking at every piece, they have the leg up, except maybe just being pure mashers like Texas when they're on. And that's exactly what I said about Philly last year, and Philly went on a run. So I don't know. I believe in the Birds. They've been the best AL team poll to poll, and I want to think that also matters. And maybe that's just me coming at the 54%ers.
You know what you should watch out for? Both teams run the bases a lot.
Yes.
The Orioles are actually a little better on the margins with stolen bases. But the Rangers have stolen more bases. But what Baltimore does really well is run the bases on batted balls this year. They were first in the AL on scoring on a single when the runner is on first base. Or again, going first to third on a single, going second to home on a single, and going first to home on a double. They were third. Texas was second. So I think you're going to see a lot of base running. And both of these teams, young, energetic products of the new rules, or maybe not fully product of the new rules, but have been able to take it to their advantage because they are young, have youth on their side, and bringing that exciting baseball back into our life. So I think we're going to get some chaos, which is the slogan. But I think we're going to get, steal second, overthrow to the outfield, run to third. Actually, let's go home. Let's push the buttons. And then, the ball gets thrown around. I think you're going to have some moments like that where you're like, whoa! And then crazy happens.
MLB has a position-by-position breakdown, and they say who has the better at each position. In the bullpen, they picked the Rangers, which is absolutely nuts to me because none of the stats support that whatsoever. So whoever wrote that article, here's something you're going to find interesting and something to look out for in this series. For the bullpens, the Orioles, homers per 9, which is a pretty important stat come playoff time. They're first in the league. They don't give up homers. Texas Rangers, 29th in the league, homers per 9.
Who's 30th? The A's?
Probably the A's. I have to guess the A's are the 30th team. But that is something to look out for. Now, I know you're paring the bullpen down, and some of these guys are probably not even on the roster. I understand that. But best versus best, don't tell me that the Rangers have it. And I've been the one defending the Rangers bullpen, saying, hey, they could turn it around. They could get on a 3-week heater here. It's been done before. But that is, I think, if you're looking for one thing that you can, look for in this series is that matchup. The matchup of the bullpens. It's going to play a very, very significant part of the series because the Rangers don't have enough starting pitching, essentially. Like their bullpen's going to be out there. So either they step it up and they shut all of us up and we look like idiots and we'll be used on their, pump up hype video, or we're going to see them give up some home runs because they are the second worst team in all of baseball with that.
Damn.
Here comes the Orioles closer, Jorge Mateo. Swipe, run, bing bong. Birds in 4.
Adley Rutschman went first to third more than any other player in the American League. Kind of shocking.
Wow.
1 stolen base, 2 caught stealings. But great base runner, batted balls, I guess. Also, a lot of opportunity, gets on a lot of opportunity hitting behind him. But still, that's cool. Ozzie always has the most. More on that later. Let's stay in the AL.
Little monster.
The little monster. Let's stay in the American League. Some people refer to it as the AL, which is the first 2 letters of both words. You just say the letters. Twins. Trevor's Twins versus the Astros in Houston. They get the 4:45 Saturday start. So that's weird. 8 o'clock Sunday night. That'll be really fun. And then Minnesota. That stinks, man. They get a 4:07 start at home on a weekday. They just did that. I was hoping they would also get guaranteed kind of a nighttime playoff. Although they did pack it and all that, but a better. So win and make the Wednesday game a night game to be hosted in Minnesota. I want to see that place at night as alive as it was in the first round.
I don't know what the weather is there, but I think sometimes they might like it during the day. They're still showing up, which is what you want. You just want the crowd into it, and they showed that they can do that on a day game. But I agree. I'd like to see that thing place rocking. This is gonna be a difficult series for the Twins, no doubt about it. Astros been there, done that, all the experience in the world, man. Like there's no other team in baseball that has, the deep playoff runs that the Astros have had over the last 7 years. Is it 6 ALCSs in a row? Is that what it is now? That's a fucking joke. It's part of my language. Holy.
Pardoned.
It's going to be... I like the pitching matchups. I think that's something that will probably... we can't really say. I didn't really like the pitching matchups in the first series that we just talked about, but right here, it's probably going to be Bailey Ober versus Verlander in the first game. That's my prediction. Could be Joe Ryan. He was scheduled to start game 3 of the wild card, but for some reason in my head, I think they go Ober. Ryan just hasn't been as sharp as of late. I know they still believe in him. I still believe in him, but a couple tall righties going at it. I think that's going to be interesting. And then you'll get Pablo and Sonny going up against Framber and I guess Javier for game 3. These are 2 complete rosters. That's what I think. And I think there's going to be some very, very good baseball played. And I know it's cliche to say this, but it seems like to me, because both these teams can kind of do it all, it's going to be like timely hitting, like who gets the big knock and who doesn't. I don't expect there to be bad errors and bad sloppy baseball played because that's kind of not how these teams play ball. Although the Astros, man, down the stretch, they played some sloppy ball. I don't expect that to happen in the playoffs though. So to me, yeah, it's going to be, and again, it sounds stupid. I get it, but there's really no way to predict this series except I'm going to say it's going to come down to who hits better with runners in scoring position. That's it. And I'll take that as a Twins fan. If you can say your team matches up with the Houston Astros and it comes down to timely hitting, okay, I'll take my chances.
Trev, I have one important question to ask you about this series, which I think determines the series.
Okay.
Who is coming in to face Yordan Alvarez and Tucker and get them out in between the starting pitcher and Duran?
There's not a lot of lefties available.
Because Kay was saying it in a way that I hadn't heard it said.
Who?
Duran or Duran?
Yeah. Kay was saying like Duran.
I think it's just Duran.
Duran, that's what I thought. So who's coming in to get them out? Thunderbunk?
Thunderbunk and Thielbar, those are the two lefties.
Okay.
Thielbar's nasty.
Thielbar's nasty.
He's got a great story. I played with him on the Twins, and he was like coaching, but still kind of pitching in independent ball, and then he just got back into the game, and he's one of the better left-handed relievers left in the playoffs. Nasty curveball. I don't like Yordan matched up with anybody though. Like
Good
nobody,
counter.
it's like nobody has the advantage
Good
over
counter.
him.
Isn't Yordan the best like lefty versus lefty hitter ever? Or
Yeah,
some shit like that.
Yeah, well, not against Caleb. Thielbar.
So yeah, that's
0 for
who they
3.
have.
0 for 3, 1 strikeout.
It's going to be those guys, and he's not always going to be facing relievers. Like the starters are going to have to get him out too. And if you walk him, you're going to get Kyle Tucker. And this Astros lineup is relentless. The Twins know that. So, I think it's important for them. Honestly, all the old cliches, no free passes. That's huge for the Twins. Like keep people off base because Yordan's going to have his moments. He's going to hit homers. Kyle Tucker's going to hit extra base hits. But the more you can have empty bases in front of these guys, the better off your chances are going to be. So let's not give up free passes, and let's, try to do that. It's easier said than done against this Astros team. Like I said, they have in all of our heads, the baseball collective world, we should think that the Astros are the favorites to win it all because they've just shown it time and time again in the playoffs, the ability to get the job done. That's the bottom line. I know what the Braves have done. I know what all the other teams have on their rosters, but when it comes to the playoffs, the Astros they're king, defending champs.
What do you mean? You think you know what you're going to get out of Altuve, Bregman, Yordan, Tucker, Jose Abreu, Brantley, Chaz McCormick, Jeremy Pena slotted in the
relentless.
World Series MVP. Jinx.
Walter Matthau.
You see Joe's kids doing that?
They do jinx?
They're on a big jinx kick.
Like Barbie?
Yeah.
Last Saturday, they showed up at Billy's during our prep day, and they were silent. And I was like, Jose, do you want a quiet day? And then he said, they're jinxed right now.
So Joe's got in the mix, it looks like.
Got both of them.
And then, just a reminder, Valdez, Verlander, Javier, show me your cat, or Kitty.
It's fine because Verlander's only 22-10 with a 2.76 career ERA against the Twins. That's fine.
Yeah, wait till we get to Kershaw later.
Not these Twins.
And then if you need some outs from the fourth inning on Montero, Maton, Graveman, Abreu, Neris, Presley. It's feels like we're doing, season 7 of The Office. Like, a couple of the characters have moved on, but a lot of the main people are still here. The biggest thing that I'm leaning into, and I said this before Twins, Blue Jays, like either one of those teams coming out was going to really feeling the best they felt about them in a long time. I think the Blue Jays have we haven't won a series in a long time stretch going on now. The Twins get the monkey off of their back. They win 2. And Trev, credit to you, but that's not normally my game. Mm-hmm. The Twins bullpen is real. The Twins bullpen is real. They want to make that phone call where in past years they did not. And they kind of get, I don't want to say the free money game to start, but whether it's Verlander versus Ober or Ryan or hell, give me a sneaky Maeda.
Give me a sneaky Maeda.
Like they've kind of got that Snakes Brewers house money game to start off that if they somehow take down Verlander and the big bad wolf in Houston, they're going to be feeling just otherworldly, or it's kind of nuts on the line, Framber versus Pablo, which I don't know. I hate going against Framber in a big game. Doesn't he control the roof? Doesn't he get to Framber's a big roof open guy, or is he the roof closed guy? Him and Verlander get the call on that, which means you have to have a lot of power in the organization to call that one out.
Framber chooses his jersey.
jersey.
I don't know if he's still doing that. Last year he chose his jersey. It was dark.
Dark jersey. That place is weird with the roof open. Excuse me. I played a lot of games there. Only like 1 or 2 of them ever had the roof open. And actually, when Dallas Keuchel was pitching one day, it was open, and the ball did not travel the way it did when the roof was closed.
Maybe it's a lefty. Maybe it's a lefty thing.
Yeah, maybe they. God, there's got to be some gamesmanship with that, right? I love that.
Houston,
give me some conspiracy stuff.
Houston losing record at home this year. How about that?
Yeah.
Nothing almost.
And the Twins
matters.
won the season series, man.
Nothing almost matters when it comes to them, though, because they're here. They're here.
Are they the new Rays where you say Astros going to Astro? Like they're just going to be good?
Well, that didn't exactly translate.
They just beat you playing baseball. Like the Rays.
Yeah, you have
shift.
to play your best baseball to beat them.
The Rays would, bring out as many relievers as possible and original opener, stuff like that. Like Astros just beat you by playing the game of baseball and being better.
I think that's like a way to look at when you face the Astros. They're not going to beat themselves. And, I'm sure somebody's going, what about this game? They beat themselves. Yeah, a few times a year. But playoff times, they're ready to go. You are going to have to go out there and play exceptional baseball. There's not going to be games handed to you. The way like the Rays handed some runs to the Rangers in the wild card, or they're not going to do that. So it's up to the Twins to really go in there, and I think early leads are good. Take the crowd out of it, all that stuff. It's going to be a very, very difficult series for them, though.
The first 2 games, I think we're going to find out if all what you guys are saying about the Twins bullpen is true or not true. This is a Houston team that's the best offensive OPS versus relief pitchers. 266 batting average, 343 on base, 445 slugging as a team versus relievers. They're like 9th or 10th best versus starters. And they're going to be in that environment if it's a close game, if they're got tied or got a lead. And Mariners had to do that last time. And then you got to face fucking, you get those top 4 guys in the 7th inning of a close game. And that gap between the starter and Duran, I'm very interested to see.
The only thing that I think maybe lies with the Twins as far as advantages is they don't have a lot of lefties for the pitchers. And the Twins are a much better team when a right-hander is on the mound. So Framber obviously is lefty. There's one lefty they have listed in the pen. I'm sure he's going to be on the roster. Whether or not he was a guy for them during the season is this guy Bennett Sousa, which they got from Detroit.
I don't know how to say his name.
I don't know how to say his name either, but I just went with Steven Sousa, even that's with a Z.
Sousbot.
Anyways, Sousbot, I'd assume he's going to be on the roster. Even if he's not a guy, like just the threat of having him, he has to be.
Trev, if he is or he isn't, it comes back to Houston not caring. They've gone into playoffs already before. Like, they don't give a fuck.
Yeah. And they just saw the Blue Jays try to game plan for that. And
Trev, what was Neris saying?
Sort of worked.
Or Jim?
Bateo. Batea. Anyone ever yell at you, Trev? That's what Neris was yelling
Batea?
at. Yeah, that's what Neris was yelling at.
Like just hit it.
Kind of like it means bat or like hit, but in the sense, it's kind of like yelling. Is that all you got? Thought you were fucking good, man. Come on, compete.
Hector Neris and I are friends. He never yelled that at me.
And then he dropped mama huevo, which is a bad slang term.
It means S my D.
Well, no. It means CS.
In another way.
Yeah, same. Whatever you want it to mean.
When someone calls you CSer, you think they're inviting you?
Prove it.
Mama Huevo? That's a classic.
Dude, I didn't even whisper. You didn't even whisper it.
Clip
a
it.
classic Latin,
you better say
phrase.
that in parentheses.
Yeah.
Especially on the ball field.
Yeah.
Diablo Coño.
Yeah.
That means effing devil.
Yeah.
Or like
Pateo, coño.
I have the Twins in 5. I have Royce Lewis going off the right field foul pole in Houston, a la Howie Kendrick.
I have him joining the Astros.
Already did it this year.
Ooh.
What did you say? Because me and Trev were talking. You said something in between there.
I didn't. Not recalling.
Have you heard any rumors about the Twins?
Yes. You don't want to know.
Don't say it.
You don't want to know.
Don't you dare say it. People are going to say we're fighting again. Okay,
Fighting?
so do we even give predictions for the first series? Should we go back and just do that real quick?
Jake said one real
Who are you-
quick. But
Who are
I
you
still
on,
got-
James, for Texas, Baltimore?
I have. I'm predicting 5 games.
But you don't know the winner yet.
I don't know the
That's
winner.
fine.
Yeah, but I'm predicting 5 games.
Jake?
Jake's choosing a winner.
Birds.
He's not choosing the games. Then that's fair.
I'm choosing the Birds also. I think they are going to move on.
That graphic's gonna
Jake did.
fucking piss
Jake
people
did
off.
pick Orioles in 4.
I like it. I just choose the games. That'll make people mad.
You just want the owners to make money going 5 games.
No, but well, actually, that is bullshit, Trev. Don't get me started on that. Don't get me started on that.
Okay, so you're not picking. You have to pick for the graphic, though, James. So Birds
It's
are
going to
in.
say 5 on the graphic.
Okay, great.
That's fair.
Have
The
fun
2
with
sides
that
will be
graphic.
5
Fair's
games
loose.
and
Fair's
Orioles.
really loose
Yeah.
there.
Jake made me change my pick last time, so I come
didn't
out
make
looking
you
like
do
a loser. On
anything.
the
Nobody
sad
made
eyes
you change
gave me.
anything, by the way. You
Jake,
kind of run the show here. I don't know if you know that, but your name's all over our
Jake
quotes.
gave me the saddest eyes. He was like, "Really?" And I was like, "I'll change." And then he said, "Thank you." So now I get the Brewers wrong. Didn't want to. So I'm going games.
That's good loser talk, Jim.
Yeah.
And didn't you say something about the Twins? You wanted to go with the Twins, but
Until they won, I wasn't going to believe in them.
you weren't going to trust them until they won.
I stand by that, and I'm happy they proved me wrong.
So basically, you went 4 for 4.
No, I'll take the Blue Jays loss, but I mean, I chose the
Okay.
Diamondbacks.
Okay. You kind of did.
Yeah.
This series, Jake is going with the Twins in 5. I will also go with the Twins. I don't care how many freaking games, dude. But I do think we're going to see them step up, man. I think they're going to beat the Astros. I think this is finally the season where they do not go to the ALCS, and maybe the rest of the league can like breathe a little bit, that the monsters are kind of put to bed. It's going to be a very difficult series for the Twins to win, but I think I have them going to the World Series. I think they're like kind of one of those teams that has figured it out and they're doing it at the right time.
4 games. Do you think Astros fans right now are looking around and just like laughing? Like
Yes.
it's 3 teams who have never been here, like with this current squad,
It should be.
young and fun. Or is this what it takes? Finally, fresh young blood here to ruin the old ways.
And Carlos Correa too. There's something about having like they got some of the Astros devil magic.
Correa's
He's right there.
he's gonna bat 400 over the 4 games, or he's gonna bat over.
Really good numbers against Verlander, by the way.
Are we gonna get? This is what we need. We need Correa versus a Presley at bat, game on the line. I don't love that matchup for Carlos Correa, but I would like to see it.
Verlander, Sonny Gray, hatless, sky picture. Put it on the fucking line. Let's see what it looks like, guys.
Jeez, guys. It's stressful in the big leagues, all right?
I'm full gray. I know.
Sweaty under there, you know?
Okay.
James?
4 games. This one's only going 4.
Moving on.
National League.
Yeah.
What is the first one?
Phillies Braves.
Wow.
Rematch city, dude.
Divisional series in the divisional series. How about that? Sunday, October 7th, 6 o'clock. And then Monday, 6 o'clock. Wednesday, Tibbet. Man, I'm really interested in this game. I'm interested in the Braves having their exhibition games, trying to stay sharp. I haven't heard about that since. Like, I feel like
I haven't either. I
Did
saw no
they-
videos. I
They
didn't see
posted
anything.
lineups and stuff. I
they did.
think,
I thought they said they were going to invite fans. I thought there would have been clips. I don't know.
I don't think the pitchers were really trying to embarrass the hitters. I think there was a lot of hitting.
Oh, okay.
Well, that's fucked up.
Okay, from the hitter.
The biggest storyline for me right away is who do the Phillies start game 1? I think is it have they decided? Is it my dude Ranger Suarez?
Rob Thompson knows. He just
Taijuan
hasn't told
Walker.
anyone.
Good. He shouldn't. I mean, that's very fair. You should just tell it. The moment you legally have to say and let the other team know is when you should do that, in my opinion. I believe in that gamesmanship. So, okay, and then Wheeler game 2, Nola game 3. So they're a little fucked if it goes deep into a series as well, because game 5 you're going to have Wheeler, or is this the series that has...
Wheeler.
You do Wheeler?
I think short, but all hands on deck.
And then Braves, Strider, Field, Elders expected. A lot of fans in the stands for Strider, so that's a bummer. I don't know. This is going to be a good
not
one.
Healthy coming into the series last year.
Me neither.
So that's a big difference for the Braves. If you're looking at this, I'm on their Fangraphs roster resource page. Are you kidding me? First in average, first in OBP, first in OPS, first in runs, first in homers. 10th in stolen bases. Pick your game up a little bit, guys. That's nuts.
And that's only Ronald, so that's like bad at stolen bases.
Yeah, okay, so you're bad at stolen bases, but I mean, has there ever been a team that's finished in all of those categories first in all of baseball? Like, when's the last time that happened?
27 Yankees, dude.
It's so cool.
Read a book.
So glad you guys are like Yankees fans are like Notre Dame football fans. Like, you haven't won anything in God knows how long, but you really love those 1920s championships.
Boston Celtics,
really love
Notre
those.
Dame,
love
Yankees. Yeah,
sick of all you guys.
We're sick of it too. If that makes you feel better.
Yeah, I don't like it.
Yeah,
either.
you guys need a new championship, no doubt.
No doubt.
Nice, dude.
Nice. Holla back.
Here's what I'll say.
Say it, Jake.
This is awesome. This is the marquee matchup. This is running it back from last year. We already saw the Philly crowd, and like Philly, both of these teams have executed their exact game plan up to this point. Like Phillies, I don't know. Obviously every team wants to win the division, and I love when Trev starts talking about all the spring training stuff where it's like we're going to take the extra bag and we're going to, 2-out. Trev talks about those, how the rest of our society talks about like team workshops at their office where it's like, today we're going to do a team building event. The Phillies are stacked. They've played their game. They didn't fully care about the division at a certain point, but we want to have our stars healthy and ready to go. Trey Turner had a weird year. He's been awesome since then. Bryce Harper's going to be stoked to not see just another lefty slider from the Marlins. JT Realmuto goes big fly. Like, the Phillies are set up how they want to be set up, outside of their starting pitchers not going games 1 and 2. And the Atlanta Braves are the same thing. They wanted to boat race the division. Ronald's going to win the MVP. Matt Olson hit, 54 bombs this year? And the rest of the lineup's nasty too. And they're playing the team that knocked them out last year in the Phillies, the interdivision, which this is big balls on the table, man. This is, if the Phillies clip them again, I mean, they're just going to be laughing. Enjoy your regular season wins. Don't care. Where the Braves, it feels like they've been building up and wanting this moment, this very moment all year. And they're going to get it with Strider trying to get his redemption in Philly, because outside of that playoff start, he's owned them. This is perfect. This is what playoff baseball should be.
Spencer Strider against him, Trey Turner 0 for 14, Bryson Stott 2 for 19, Real Muto 2 for 13, Castellanos 3 for 17. So if you're looking at that, you're thinking Philly's got their work cut out for him. But it is the playoffs, my people. And Trey Turner does. I think Trey Turner's feeling that Team USA feeling again when he was the center of the baseball world for a little bit. I think he liked it. It went away from him, and now he's kind of feeling it again as he's been one-dotting it for quite some time. I think it's easy to say Harper is the biggest X factor here for the Phillies. Like, if he gets hot and hits a bunch of homers, it's gonna be great. But I think Trey Turner is my guy. Like, if he goes, I think the Phillies go. Another $300 million guy.
I think the Braves lose this series if one of their starting pitchers has a horrendous outing. And that's kind of all. I think they can hang with them. I think the Braves can beat you in many different ways. But say Strider goes out, and has just like a dump. That's the only way. I was trying to think in my head, how did the Phillies win this series? And I was like, I think they got to like really just destroy one of the starting pitchers.
Well, Jim, close friend to the pod, and I'm obviously now rooting this. We mentioned Strider's incredible numbers against some of the Phillies, although he did have that playoff thing, so he's going to try to get that monkey off his proverbial back. Trey Turner off of Max Fried, 14 of 35. Nick Castellanos, 8 for 13 against Max Fried. JT Real Muto, 14 for 40 against Max Fried. So that's the one that you'd be a little nervous on. You know, Max has had a few IL stints this year. He hasn't been as locked in and consistent as he normally is. And that's where, the Phillies went back and they closed us out in Philly when the place just turned into a madhouse and it was like nothing really mattered. Like they didn't care. They were going to score 8 runs and like see you at the finish line.
The Philly bat slam.
If they take one in Atlanta, I don't know. Like they're going to think, them and the Braves are going to be thinking like, Phillies fans are going to say it's happening again. Braves fans are going to say it's not happening again, right? And that's scary about those first 2 games.
You're facing Max Fried twice and Spencer Strider twice if you're the Phillies.
Yeah, it's tough.
Buckle up. You got to go get it done. On the other hand, Wheeler's going to get the ball twice, second game, and possibly a decisive 5th game. So if you're a Phillies fan, you have to feel good about that. But this is, dude, trying to figure out who's going to win this series is probably the toughest one for me because you have the Braves who are, I think everyone that covers baseball would agree they're on a tier of their own. Like they are the best, most well-rounded, best team in baseball. And they've shown it throughout the season. But Phillies beat them in the playoffs last year. Like that's kind of almost all that matters at this point in the season. Braves won season series 8-5. Do you think anybody really cares in Philadelphia on that roster? They don't. All they think back is, we did it last year against them. Let's go do it again. I think they match up well. It's very difficult for me to choose a side here.
What if I told you Brandon Marsh is 4 for 9 versus Strider?
I'd say he better be in the lineup. That's what I would say.
At one point, he was much better because he's 1 for his last 5 with 4 strikeouts. So that stinks.
Prediction time? Jake?
I'd love to hear the games. That would help me out.
You want to hear the games first?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
4.
Oh.
I'm going Braves. I was on them before the season. They're the most talented team. Like I don't know. I will say I just pooped myself a little bit with if they win either of the first 2 games, like Philly is living their exact perfect script. Like, yep, we got to the playoffs. Okay, we got a chance to close it out in Philly. We've got dudes up and down the lineup. We're gonna be feeling good. For Atlanta, for me, the team that won the World Series, if you remember, Ronald Acuna Jr. was not a part of that run. Ronald was out, so in an MVP season, he gets a chance to go out and get a World Series that truly feels like his. Neither were the A's guys, Olsen and Murphy, while the rest of the lineup kind of was, and so they'll have the playoff experience. I don't know. Like, if you're the Braves and you're this talented and your whole season was building up to getting back to the playoffs and a chance to play the team that took you out last year, I don't know, man. If you don't do it, there's going to be a lot of head turning in the locker room. Like, what are we doing? Like, should we just be Philly and kind of slap it up all year, win 90 games, and just get ready to be pimps in the playoffs? Give me Atlanta.
Wow, pimps in the playoffs.
Sure.
4 games, James. I think we're going 5 games. I think this is gut feeling here. I think the Braves are going to crush them in game 1. I think that they're going to come out and everyone's going to say, dang, man.
I gave
Phillies
the games.
Don't belong on the same field, which obviously they do. I think it's going to be a big victory for the Braves in game 1, and then it's going to be up to Wheeler and Nola to kind of come shut things down. I got Philly winning the whole dang thing this year. So I'm taking Philadelphia in 5, Wheeler in a decisive game. I think they win 2 and 3, they lose 4, and they have to win 5, which would mean Max Fried loses 2 games. That's difficult for me to see too. I have to stick with my guns. I'm going Philly. I don't have a great reason. I think they're a team of destiny and World Series losers last year, very hungry to get back.
So to clear it up, the graphic will read Jake, Braves, Jimmy, 4 games, Trev, Max Fried, 0-2.
Oh, my God. You're going to make so much money, though, Max. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
He is going to make money.
Hot
Get a
and
ring
hot
and
yet
gold gloves.
gentle.
Next up.
Like, he should be the one to date your daughter. Max Fried.
And after that, he could go to
look ugly.
our store, John Boy Media. Go get some merch. We got some playoff shirts out. We got some footy shirts out. The shirt I'm wearing, Trevor's hat. Can you get the baggage pullover? You can get a lot of baggage gear. I don't know.
Yeah, you
definitely
you can.
At one point you could, maybe. I don't know.
Give it a look. There's other baggage
Hey, Kenny
stuff
in
anyway.
sales. Kenny in sales, if you're listening, Kyle Farmer really wants the block John Boy hat black snapback.
Okay.
Okay.
Hope they were listening.
He's going to be the MVP of the World Series.
Shop.johnboymedia.com. Go, Jim.
The last series, the Diamondbacks, Jake Snakes playing for rings in the desert. Taking on the Dodgers. This one is everyone's most anticipated series. Any update on Moreno?
They said he's playing game 1.
Holy moly. Merrill Kelly is expected starter for the Diamondbacks with Gallen going 2. Is that true?
They're lined up. Yeah.
Kelly would have been game 3.
Bonus off day in the NL.
Alec Thomas, Corbin Carroll, men of many few words. Alec Thomas's interview in the middle of the game last night was the most nothing I've ever heard in my life. It was crazy. Diamondbacks, very good at baseball, very good at expressing themselves on the baseball field, very talkative. The most dry interviews I've ever heard.
You got to go a little easier on the mid-game interview for Alec Thomas. You're locked in the game. That's the last thing you want to do. We've had the mic come up to us in Blitzball a couple times, and the words don't come to you.
I
as
can't
much.
stand
They are.
I know that, but it was like, whoa.
They are.
Say no.
They are a tame crew. They probably did. That ain't how it works.
Corbin Carroll, every interview
Yes.
has been
Yes.
almost like, do you inflect your voice?
He's
he's chilling.
if it comes out that they're
I don't know if he is. I think he's
I don't know.
intense and
they've mixed in
he's-
they've mixed in some robots amongst us. Like he's
oh yeah, he is suspect for that.
like if we did an all potential robot team like Shohei, Corbin Carroll,
yeah.
Frankie, I don't know. This is David and Goliath. This is Big Brother. Pick your favorite ploof, bro. The Dodgers have dominated the Diamondbacks in recent and almost all history. They've won the last 5 games this season, which culminated in a sweep against the Dodgers, and that's right during like the wild card race when every game meant so much to Arizona. Clayton Kershaw, who will get the pill in game 1. I think you guys are familiar with him. Southpaw, to give you a little bit of the scouting report. It throws different pitches. That's a full scouting report. He hasn't lost at home to the Diamondbacks. He's been on the Dodgers for a couple years. He hasn't lost at home to the Diamondbacks since 2012. Merrill Kelly, who's getting the ball in game 1. Merrill Kelly, great year. 30 starts, a 3.29 ERA. Like Merrill Kelly, yes. 0 for 11 career on 16 starts against the Dodgers. So we've got a little bit of hate. How are you? And hey, one playoff moment can put all that as history, but I think Dodger fans are laughing a little bit.
No, I think they're scared of this matchup because it's like what you talked about before. What have the Snakes got to lose? Like they're coming into this with just like let's just go try to win a few of these games. The Dodgers just like, hey, we just had a break. Now we got to get back on the field. I do agree with you that this talent is the talent disparity between the two teams is pretty big. Gosh, I don't know, man. It's hard for me to even. It's hard for me to think of a scenario where the Snakes win this series, which is tough because I'm not usually like that, and I give everyone a chance in the playoffs. The domination of the Dodgers in that NL West, it feels so large and it looms so large over the rest of them. I mean, I got Dodgers in 4.
Hey.
Sorry, James, you're supposed to give the games.
I give the games 3.
Oh.
You got your 2 best pitchers going to LA, and then you come home and you got fought.
It's going to take a lot. It's going to take a lot from the D-backs. They're going to have to play absolutely perfect. They're going to have to hit
I'm just thinking of Freddie Freeman's at-bats. I think Freddie Freeman eats up in his first 3 at-bats, I think he eats up 30 pitches or 4 total bases.
Max Muncy's going to hit a ball to the fucking moon.
Timeout.
Yeah, give us some Snakes love, bro, because it's been a tough listen for them.
The Kershaw kid I've been telling you about.
He's no kid.
Corbin Carroll, 4 for 7 lifetime against him. Seeing it.
Kershaw didn't know who he was at that point.
Christian Walker, 10 for 34. Tommy Pham, bad numbers. The Dodgers are throwing Bobby Miller in game 2. Like, the rookie. I know he's nasty, and Trev's been on him early. But we got a rookie going out there for the Dodgers. Let's find out what Bobby Miller's made of, and I think we're probably going to like what we see. But, okay, rookie starter there. And then game 3, it's either going to be Joms Lance Lynn or it's going to be like opener Ryan Pepio Day, which, I don't know. Like, for previous Dodgers teams, if we were lining up this matchup, we'd go, oh, my God. Like, Dodgers Snakes, here comes Kershaw, Buehler, Urias, Tony G in the power of 3. Like, you know, it would feel a little
Dustin
different.
May.
Hey, the Snakes lineup can fuck around a little bit. I think we're gonna have some fun. I think we're gonna have some good games. And I don't know if they come out with that, like they had a little bit of in Milwaukee that they were playing with, like everyone doesn't even think we should be at the party, but we're here. Torey Lovello, my manager, changed my Twitter bio. And I don't know, is the pressure will be on LA?
Is it? I don't know. I mean,
What?
I don't know if that's true. Here's the thing. Corbin Carroll could take a series over. We saw it. I mean, he basically did in Milwaukee.
I feel like I'm upset with what Jake said.
Okay.
I feel like you downplayed Kershaw, and I don't understand how you did that.
That hurts.
I didn't downplay Kershaw. I said Carroll and Walker have good numbers against them.
But you said like the starting pitching isn't what we used to. Like Kershaw just had a fucking awesome year.
It's the other guys. I said in past years it's also Clayton Kershaw. None of that was at Kershaw.
No Bueller, no
You
Urias,
just-
no
you took the
Gonsolin,
whole
no
thing
Dustin
wrong.
May is tough.
Kershaw's like awesome.
I'm in on Kershaw.
You're not in on Bobby Miller.
Let's see. He's a rookie. Like, he's good.
Are we gonna
Let's
see
find out
if-
what we got.
Do we have to let's see with Corbin Carroll?
I think we already saw in the playoffs. Boom,
Okay.
roasted.
Boom, roasted.
Very smart to
Corbin
do
Carroll
Bobby
could take
Miller,
a game
too.
over. I agree with that. He's going to have to.
But Jim, you just got mad at the pressure on LA line. Let's say the Snakes come
No,
out
I
and win
wasn't.
game 1.
Well, I was upset. I was super reacting delayed.
Super delayed. Turn it on. If they beat Kershaw game 1, you got Bobby Miller, the rookie, against these Snakes in game 2. Like, hey, a lot's got to happen to get there.
Bobby Miller's been pretty good.
It's been good.
I'll finish my point now, and then you guys can finish your argument. Carroll has a chance to take a game over, no doubt. Did it against Milwaukee. Milwaukee doesn't have what the Dodgers have. Like what we hope Corbin Carroll will do for the Snakes to give him a chance. Freddie Freeman's going to do it.
Yes.
Like he's going to perform. Mookie Betts is going to perform. Like they have. I think that's the Dodgers' advantage. Probably, I mean, definitely in this series is like they know that you can just plug in X amount of hits and runs and RBI from these guys. Like they're going to perform because they're the elite of the elite. Like they don't slump and it doesn't happen. So the Dodgers have that built in already. And then if they get, if Max Muncy goes on a heater or, JD Martinez just decides that he wants to wake up and say, hey, I used to play here.
Yeah.
I need some homers. Like, I think that's the biggest issue in this series is I just think like pound for pound, like player for player, the Dodgers just have such an advantage that it's going to play out in their favor. And in this last series, in the wild card series, the Brewers didn't have that with the Diamondbacks whatsoever. I thought they were more evenly matched than anything.
We kept talking about the Diamondbacks let the Brewers like in it. They kept them in it. Like they could be up big and knock Kershaw out, knock Bobby Miller out. And I'm like, okay, you still got to hold the Dodgers for the rest of the game. And their offense is pretty good.
They're so relentless. Every time I've watched them live this year, going to the stadium, it has that feeling. It doesn't matter. Like they're at any given moment can just put up a 6 spot. Like and not like just like a joke, haha. No, like no, they at any given moment they can run out a 6 spot. So I agree with you, Jimmy, that this is it's gonna be a tall task, man. I'm not gonna say it's a 0% chance for the Snakes to win it. I don't have confidence that they are. They've been a really fun group to watch, and part of me will be rooting for them just because of like, who won the battle of David and Goliath? I hate when people say that because like David and Goliath, like for sure Goliath's gonna win. It's like, no, guys, don't you know the freaking story? Like he lost.
Oh, this guy hit by a rock. Fell down.
Hit by a rock.
Hung over.
David was like, God's gonna send this one. He just like threw a rock with a slingshot. Oh, that's such a silly story. My goodness, but David won.
Oh shit.
Yeah, I don't know if you knew that, Jake.
So Trevor Plouffe is taking the Snakes.
It's actually a biblical story. How about that? People forget I went to confession.
I also confessed.
I confess that I have no faith in the Snakes. Forgive me.
It's been 3 months since my last confession. I'd just like to say I think this whole thing's a crock of shit. That was my last confession.
Made me feel better about myself, though.
Did it? Felt like I talked to an old dude through a wall.
No, bro, I felt like this cleanse came over me. I just said a few Hail Marys and some Our Fathers. Bam, I'm holy again. New life, baby.
Jake, did you lock yours in?
You have 4 games?
3.
Oh, shit. I'm going 5 games. And a lifelong memory as the Dodgers win in 5.
All right.
I'm excited.
I wish they started tomorrow.
Me too.
Yeah. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Go the baseball.
I'm sure everyone is going to agree with what we say, no doubt.
Joe Kelly in a big 5th inning appearance.
More like Joke Ellie.
It's kind of me.
Hey, watch out on our social media for your comments. I'm keeping receipts. I went last night and destroyed a bunch of Fish fans. It was so fun. I got the taste for blood.
Thanks for
Internet
watching.
blood.
Yeah.
Why are you going to run away a community of Fish fans?
Let's go engagement.
Internet blood.
They're hanging out.
Passively aggressive, nice to them.